Welcome back to Fan the Flame Dates. Today our task is building a sexual union together as a couple.
We're looking at the season of young love, and one of the tasks is to build a sexual union.
I'm thinking young love, you really don't have to talk too much about sex because you're so excited about being able to do that.
Well, if you grow up in a traditional, fundamental Christian family, you've been taught sex before marriage is wrong, and you've, kind of
Which
associated
it is.
as, oh yeah, it is, and you kind of associated with it as might be bad or it might be dirty, and now you get married and it's supposed to be the absolute best thing in your life, and some people have trouble getting their minds around it, which is important because the most important part of this task is developing the mindset. And today we live in a culture that's sex saturated. And, when we talk about sexual union, I like it and I don't like it because, anybody can have sex, but, what is the idea of making love? And that's what we want to get to. The culture tells us sex, 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 the two acts of two bodies coming together. But God intended it to be far more than that. It's the intimacy. It's the soul love language that we speak together as husband and wife. I can express my love to other people in other ways, but there's only one special way that I express and communicate my love to you, and that's through the sexual embrace. So the whole idea here is getting our minds in the right place.
But when you're young and in love, there's lots of passion, and you think that everything's going to work out okay, and when you get to having the opportunity to make love together, you might be let down a little bit.
I just think back to our premarital counseling. We had a whopping 45 minutes before our rehearsal dinner.
Right.
And the pastor, his name was, by the way, he said, you both grew up in good Christian families, you shouldn't have a problem, but if you do have a little problem on your honeymoon, just relax, wait, and try again in the morning, and we're thinking,
problem?
What could go wrong?
What could go wrong?
Yeah. So let's look at that. I mean, because sometimes now we live in the real world, unfortunately, a lot of kids are coming to marriage with sexual past and some experiences that may not have been so positive, or maybe some people are coming out of some sexual abuse situations where they need to reframe their mind and their attitude towards what coming together of two people is supposed to look like.
Exactly.
So, if you have that background, you might want to consider talking to a counselor, especially if there was abuse in your background. But, dealing with premarital sexual partners and in terms of things like that, again, some healthy conversations with a counselor would be helpful to recast those so that you can come to your partner with a clean heart and a pure mind when it comes to this making love piece. The other thing is you need to make a commitment to love making and romance. And we were, again, joking even today a little bit before we did this about, you made the comment to me that we're not the most
romantic couple
in the world. And, when you think of romance, you think of
flowers,
dressing up, flowers,
going out to a nice restaurant,
strolling,
taking
minstrel.
a walk on the beach.
Right. And we do that. You do that on Tuesdays, and I do it on Thursdays. It all works.
Very funny.
But romance can look different ways to different people. And romance is just in terms of communicating love, setting a romantic culture. And one of the ways now, when you're young and in love, you're going to have the romance, go out on the special date. Now Karen and I just kind of sit on the sofa. She puts her feet up on my lap. That's my cue to rub her feet. That's romance. And one of the interesting things about this is, what the word for intercourse or sex was in the Old Testament? The Hebrew word?
As a matter of fact, I do.
Well, what does it mean?
Knowing.
To know. That's right.
To know.
Adam knew his wife. And, it's like, hi, pleased to meet you. That's not what it means. It means he had, sexual relations with her. But it's interesting that God, through the Holy Spirit, uses that word to know to give the connotation of the sexual union. It implies there's a deeper intimacy. There's an understanding. It's not a casualness. It's not an anonymous thing. It's something that takes place in a relationship of knowing one another in a very special and meaningful way. Before we pause to do the need to knows questions, we understand that this is a very important topic and you really can't cover it in 3 to 5 minutes. So there's a number of dates out here on the website, fantheflamedates.com, that you might want to look at. But right now, let's go ahead and pause the video, answer the need knows questions, And we'll look forward to seeing you next time here at fantheflamedates.com.